Hey guys, it's Joey. So I just got back from A Quiet Place. John Krasinski has stepped out of Jim's way and is doing very fantastic stuff. This movie was pretty brilliant. I loved every second of it. I can't wait for Krasinski to direct more movies. It's just so beautifully made, and it is horror, and it has heart. It's a very well made film. I love films like this. And it's very self-contained, and it feels it's a big film, but it feels very small and intimate, which is probably one of my favorite kind of ways to approach filmmaking. I would liken the sort of feel and tone of it to 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's just very contained and very tense. John Krasinski, Emily Blunt did a fantastic job. I mean, Emily Blunt just kills every role she's in ever. So, and it's nice to see sort of a husband-wife team work on a family movie like this, or they both have kids, and they were both. I imagine thinking about what they would do if their children were in this position, in this crazy world where you have to be quiet all the time. So here's the part of my video where I'm going to go into spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie yet, please turn away unless you don't care about spoilers, but I'm going to start discussing some of the stuff that happened in the movie. So I know it's not the perfect movie, and I know people have, they can pick it apart and whatnot. And one gripe I discussed with a friend of mine, and I've heard people say the same thing online, is why the heck would you have a baby when you know you might die if anything makes the slightest sound? And I think the answer to me was pretty clear. I mean, people, if they're going to want a family, very little is going to change their mind. This is their lives now, and they have to move on with their lives in this state. I mean, the monsters are just sort of a new threat in a world that was full of threats previously. I think the monsters essentially are metaphors for the world's dangers. You could try your best to protect these kids, your kids, but you won't always be able to protect them, and it's a sad truth. But you will try your best, and at the end of the day, that's the most important thing you can do for your children, is try your best to help them along, protect them, teach them, and all that stuff. And so I think at the end of the day, it's human nature. If you want a family, you're going to start a family. There's people in third world countries that have kids every day. War-torn countries. There's people that aren't as privileged as we are in the United States, and more. I don't even want to say civilized, but more technological, advanced societies. It's just people are going to have babies. I mean, they figured out a way to do it, and babies survive in the end, so they're just going to keep doing it. And from the end of the film, it seems like they figured out a way to defeat these aliens creatures. So maybe it wasn't that big a deal after all, and it seemed like John, you don't really even know any of the characters' names. John Krasinski's character figured out a way to, unintentionally figured out a way to deter these creatures. The whole thing of you don't agree with them having a baby, I mean, it really, at the end of the day, I would say it comes down to your personal preference. I'm someone who doesn't really want children because I have those fears of not being able to protect them and whatnot. And this world is crazy enough as it is. Anything could happen. You could you get hit by a car. You could somebody could come up and do something to you. You could fall down and break. Like, there's just so much other horrors that you face in your day-to-day life. It's like it would be numbing, so very numbing to just not continue living your life because of these horrors. And really, the horror of this world is sound, essentially. So when you sort of limit the other variables like war and other people. I mean, there's the scene with the old man who I guess sees his friend or someone dead on the ground, and he's so distraught and full of pain that he has to let it out, and he screams, and the creature comes and gets him. So at the end of the day, you either live your life in like sort of you have to kind of continue on, and if you don't, then you're going to be susceptible to it and ultimately get taken out by it. So I believe what John Krasinski and Emily Blunt did was, we want to continue our family, especially after what happened to our son, which was the son in the beginning of the movie, which was unfortunate. And the daughter, and a lot of the film is a reaction to what happened to the son, understandably so. And it creates for a very tense, very emotional story about family and loss and the future, essentially. So I really like the film. I can't wait to see what Krasinski does in the future. I really love what Paramount is doing with all these sort of, I want to say niche, but they're very, very beautiful, like horror and alien movies and monster movies. They're just so well made, and I want to give kudos to that studio for taking a chance, consistently taking chances on scripts that kind of live in that world, because that's something I'd like to make someday. And I'm glad that these kind of films are being made and being praised right now. So thank you guys for watching this video. It's sort of an old-fashioned vloggy type video, not typical to what this channel has been lately. So if you're new here to the channel, please subscribe. That would help me out a bunch. Trying to hit 2,000 by the end of the summer at least. And, let me know what you thought of A Quiet Place in the comments below. What did you think of Krasinski's work? What did you think of Emily Blunt, the kids? Let me know what you thought, and I shall catch you very soon. Thanks for watching.